Antarctica is the coldest, driest, and windless continent on Earth, making it one of the most extreme environments on the planet. Located at the southernmost part of the world, surrounding the geographic South Pole, this vast frozen landmass sits almost entirely within the Atlantic Circle. It is circled by the icy water of the Southern Ocean, which separates it from the southern tip of other continents such as South America, Africa, and Australia. Because of its remote location and harsh climate, Antarctica remained one of the last regions of the Earth to be explored by humans. Even today, it continues to fascinate scientists, explorers, and travelers who are drawn to its unique landscape and mysterious beauty. With an area of roughly 14 million square kilometers, Antarctica is the fifth largest continent in the world, larger than Europe and nearly twice the size of Australia. Despite its enormous size, the continent is almost completely covered by a thick sheet of ice that has accumulated over millions of years. In fact, about 98% of Antarctica's surface is buried beneath ice, with some areas reaching thickness of more than 4 kilometers. This immersed ice sheet stores an extraordinary amount of frozen water, containing approximately 70% of the world's freshwater supply. If all of this ice were to melt, global sea level would rise dramatically, demonstrating how important Antarctica is to the balance of Earth's climate system. The landscape of Antarctica is dominated by endless fields of ice, towering glaciers, frozen mountains, and massive ice shelves that extend into the surrounding ocean. Unlike other continents that feature forests, rivers, and cities, Antarctica appears almost entirely white, with vast icy plains stretching as far as the eye can see. In some areas, powerful winds sweep across the surface at extremely high speed, shaping the snow into rippling patterns and sculpting the ice into dramatic formations. This wind can reach hurricane-like strength, making already cold environment feel even more serve. Another remarkable characteristic of Antarctica is its extremely dry climate. Although the continent is covered with ice, it is technically considered the largest desert in the world because it receives very little precipitation. Snowfall is extremely limited, and most of the ice present today formed from snow that fell thousands or even millions of years ago. The air over Antarctica contains very little moisture, creating a cold desert environment that is vastly different from the sunny landscape many people imagine. Despite its harsh and unforgiving conditions, Antarctica has played a crucial role in the exploration of Earth and the advancement of scientific knowledge. Over the past century, scientists from many countries have established research stations across the continent to study topics such as climate change, glaciology, astronomy, and marine biology. These research efforts have helped humanity better understand the history of Earth's climate and the complex systems that regulate the planet's environment. Today, Antarctica remains one of the most mysterious and awe-inspiring places on Earth. Its vast frozen landscape, towering ice formation, and extreme climate create a world unlike any other continent. For those who study it or venture into its icy wilderness, Antarctica represents the ultimate frontier of natural exploration, a place where the raw power of nature can still be seen in its purest and most untouched form. Antarctica is often called the continent of eternal ice, and this description is remarkably accurate. Nearly 98% of the entire landmass is covered by a vast and powerful ice sheet that has formed over millions of years. This enormous layer of ice dominates the landscape, stretching across mountains, valleys, and plains, creating a frozen world unlike anywhere else on Earth. In many areas, the ice is extraordinarily thick, reaching depths of more than 4 kilometers. Beneath this immense blanket of frozen water lie hidden mountain ranges, valleys, and even ancient lakes that have been sealed off from the outside world for thousands or even millions of years. The Antarctic ice sheet is not only massive in size, but also incredibly important to the planet's natural system. It contains approximately 70% of the world's fresh water, making it the largest reservoir of fresh water on Earth. This means that the frozen continent plays a crucial role in regulating global sea levels and maintaining the balance of the Earth's climate. If the entire ice sheet of Antarctica were to melt, sea levels across the world would rise dramatically, flooding many coastal regions and altering ecosystems across the globe. Because of this, scientists carefully study the ice and monitor its change to better understand the effect of climate change. Although the ice sheet may appear completely still from a distance, it is actually constantly moving. The ice slowly flows outward from the center of the continent toward the coast, driven by gravity and the immense weight of the ice above. This movement happens extremely slowly, sometimes only a few meters per year, but over time it shapes the landscape of Antarctica. As the ice reaches the east of the continent, it forms enormous floating platforms known as ice sheets. These ice sheets extend out over the surrounding waters of the Southern Ocean, creating dramatic icy cliffs along the coastline. Eventually, large pieces of this ice sheet break away in a natural process called calving. When this happens, gigantic chunks of ice separate from the continent and drift into the ocean like icebergs. Some of these icebergs are relatively small, but others can be astonishingly large, sometimes covering hundreds or even thousands of square kilometers. In fact, some icebergs that originate from Antarctica are so massive that they can be seen from space by satellites orbiting the Earth. Once these giant icebergs enter the water of the Southern Ocean, they begin a slow journey across the sea, carried by ocean current and winds. Over time, the ice gradually melts, releasing fresh water back into the ocean. This natural circle of ice formation, movement, and melting is a fundamental part of Antarctica's environmental system and plays an important role in influencing ocean circulation and global climate patterns. The presence of such an enormous and ancient ice sheet also makes Antarctica a valuable archive of Earth's climate history. Layers of snow that fell thousands of years ago became compressed into ice, trapping tiny bubbles of ancient air within them. By drilling deep into the ice and studying these trapped ice samples, scientists can learn about the atmosphere of the past and better understand how Earth's climate had changed over hundreds of thousands of years ago. In this way, the frozen surface of Antarctica is not just a spectacular natural landscape, it is also a living record of the planet's environmental history. The continent's immersed ice sheet continues to shape the Earth's climate system, reminding us of the delicate balance that exists between the ocean, the atmosphere, and the frozen world at the bottom of our planet. Antarctica is widely recognized as the coldest place on Earth, a continent where temperatures reach levels that are almost unimaginable for most parts of the world. The extreme cold found here is the result of several unique geographical and environmental factors. Located at the southernmost point of the planet and centered around the South Pole, Antarctica receives very little direct sunlight for much of the year. During the long Antarctic winter, the sun disappears below the horizon for months at a time, leaving the continent in the continuous darkness. Without the warming energy of the sun, temperatures plunge dramatically, creating one of the most severe climates on the planet. The coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth was measured in Vostok Station, a Russian research facility located deep within the interior of Antarctica. On July 21, 1983, scientists recorded a staggering temperature of minus 89.2 Celsius degree, minus 128.6 Fahrenheit degree, setting the official world record for the lowest natural temperature over the offshore of the planet's surface. This extraordinary measurement demonstrated just how extreme Antarctica environment can be. In conditions like this, exposed human skin can freeze within a minute, and many common materials become brittle or stop functioning altogether. Even outside of record-breaking conditions, the climate across Antarctica remains incredibly cold. During the Antarctic winters, average temperatures across the continent commonly range between minus 40 Celsius degree and minus 70 Celsius degree. The interior regions, which lie at higher elevation and farther from the moderating influence of the ocean, tend to be the coolest areas. Meanwhile, coastal regions are slightly warmer, though temperatures there still remain far below freezing for most of the year. Another factor that contributes to Antarctica's extreme cold is the high elevation of the ice sheet. Because much of the continent is covered by a thick layer of ice that can rise several kilometers above the sea level, the average elevation of Antarctica is actually higher than at any of other continents. Higher altitudes naturally experience coldest temperatures, which further intensify the already harsh climate. The ice itself also reflects a large portion of the sun's energy back into space, preventing the land from absorbing heat and keeping the continent locked in a deep freeze. In addition to the frigid temperatures, Antarctica is known for its powerful winds, which can make the environment feel even colder than the actual temperature suggests. Strong katabatic winds often rush down from the elevated interior toward the coast, sometimes reaching speeds of over 200 km per hour. When these winds combine with already freezing temperatures, they create extremely dangerous wind chill conditions that make survival outside without proper protection nearly impossible. Despite these harsh conditions, scientists continue to live and work in research stations scattered across Antarctica. These researchers carefully studied the continent's climate, atmosphere, and ice formations, helping humanity better understand the Earth's environmental system. The extreme cold also preserves ancient ice layers that contain valuable information about past climates, allowing scientists to study atmospheric conditions from hundreds of thousands of years ago. Ultimately, the brutal cold of Antarctica serves as a powerful reminder of the planet's natural extremes. It is a place where nature operates at the limits of what is possible, creating a frozen world that remains one of the most challenging and fascinating environments ever explored by humankind. Unlike every other continent on Earth, Antarctica has no permanent human population. There are no cities, no towns, and no indigenous communities that have lived there for generations. The continent's extremely harsh climate, isolation, and frozen landscape that make it nearly impossible for people to establish long-term settlements. Temperatures can fall far below freezing for most of the year. Powerful winds sweep across the ice-covered land, and the environment provides very few natural resources necessary for traditional human life. Because of these conditions, Antarctica remains the only continent on Earth without permanent residents. However, this does not mean that the continent is completely empty of human activity. Each year, a small number of people travel to Antarctica to live and work temporarily at scientific research stations scattered across the icy landscapes. Depending on the season, the number of people living on the continent usually ranges from about 1,000 during the winter months to around 5,000 during the summer. These individuals are primarily scientists, engineers, technicians, medical staff, and support personnel who help maintain the research station and carry out important scientific work. Many countries operate research facilities across Antarctica as part of international scientific cooperations. Some of the most well-known research stations include McMurdo Station, the largest research base in Antarctica operated by the United States, and Amundsen Scott South Pole Station located directly at the geographic South Pole. Russia operates the famous Vostok Station deep within the Arctic interior. In addition, countries such as Australia, United Kingdom, China, Japan, France, and Germany also maintain their own research stations on the continent. Altogether, dozens of stations operate across Antarctica, forming a global network dedicated to scientific discovery. The main purpose of this station is to conduct research in areas such as climate science, glaciology, astronomy and oceanography, and environmental studies. Scientists study the thick Antarctic ice sheet to learn about Earth's climate history, analyze the atmosphere to monitor global climate change, and observe marine ecosystems in the surrounding waters. Because Antarctica is one of the least polluted places on Earth, it provides a unique natural laboratory where researchers can study environmental systems with minimal interference from human activity. Living in Antarctica is both challenging and extraordinary. During the Arctic winter, researchers must endure months of darkness where sun never rises above the horizon. Temperatures drop to extremely low levels, and severe storms can isolate the research station from the outside world for long periods. Supplies are usually delivered only a few times each year by specially equipped ships or aircraft, so carefully planning and cooperation are essential for survival. Despite these difficulties, Many scientists consider the opportunity to work in Antarctica to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. The continent offers breathtaking views of endless ice fields, brilliant polar skies, and unique wildlife that can be found nowhere else on Earth. More importantly, the research conducted here help humanity better understand the planet's environment and the changes that may affect the future of life on Earth. In this way, although Antarctica has no permanent residents, it remains an active center of international scientific cooperation. People from many nations come together in this remote frozen world, united by a shared goal to explore, study, and protect one of the most extraordinary places on our planet. Antarctica is not only a frozen wilderness but also one of the most important scientific research regions on Earth. Scattered across this vast icy continent are dozens of research stations operated by different countries, forming an international network dedicated to studying the planet's environment. This station allows scientists to live and work in one of the most remote places on Earth while conducting research that help humanity better understand climate system, atmospheric conditions, and the history of the planet. Because Antarctica remains largely untouched by human development, it provides an ideal natural laboratory where scientists can observe environmental processes in their purest form. Among the most well-known facilities on the continent is McMurdo Station, the largest research station in Antarctica operated by the United States. Located on the coast of the continent near the Ross Sea, McMurdo Station functions as the main logistical hub for American scientific operations in Antarctica. During the summer seasons, this station can host more than 1,000 people, including scientists, engineers, and support staff. It contains laboratories, dormitories, communication centers, and even small transportation systems designed to operate in the extreme Antarctic environment. From McMurdo, scientists launch expeditions across the continent to study glacier, volcanic activity, marine life, and atmospheric conditions. Another famous research facility is the Amundsen Scott South Pole Station, which is located directly at the geographic South Pole, named after the explorer Rod Amundsen and Robert Falcon Scott, who led early expeditions to the South Pole in the early 20th centuries. This station is one of the most remote scientific bases on Earth. Because of its location at the center of the Antarctic continent, it experiences 6 months of daylight followed by 6 months of darkness each year. Scientists working at this station conduct research in areas such as astronomy, astrophysics, and atmospheric science. The extremely clear and stable air above the South Pole makes it an excellent location for observing space and studying cosmic radiation. Deep within the interior of Antarctic lies another important research facility known as Vostok Station, operated by Russia. This station is famous for recording lowest natural temperature ever measured on Earth, making it one of the coldest inhabited places on the planet. Scientists working at Vostok Station focus primarily on glaciology and climate research. By drilling deep into the Atlantic ice sheets, they collect ice cores that contain tiny bubbles of ancient air trapped within the ice. These samples allow researchers to study atmospheric conditions from hundreds of thousands of years ago and gain insight into how Earth's climate has changed over time. In addition to this major station, many other countries operate research facilities throughout Antarctica, including Australia, China, the United Kingdom, Japan, France, Germany, and several others. Each station contributes valuable information to the global scientific community. Through international cooperation, scientists share data and discoveries that help the world better understand environmental change affecting the planet. The research carried out in Antarctica plays a crucial role in studying climate change because the continent's ice preserves detailed records of past atmospheric conditions. Scientists can analyze ice cores to reconstruct Earth's climate history over hundreds of thousands of years. This research provides important clues about how global temperatures, greenhouse gas, and sea level have changed throughout history, helping scientists predict future climate trends. Ultimately, the research station of Antarctica represents one of humanity's greatest examples of international scientific collaborations. In a place where no nation permanently owns the land, researchers from around the world work together in pursuit of knowledge. Their efforts continue to expand our understanding of Earth's climate system and ensure that this frozen continent remains a vital center for scientific discovery. Antarctica is widely known as the Kingdom of Penguins, a frozen world where these remarkable birds have perfectly adapted to survive in one of the hardest environments on Earth. Although the continent is covered with vast ice sheets and experiences extremely cold temperatures, it still supports thriving population of penguins along its coast and nearby Iceland. These birds have become one of the most recognizable symbols of Antarctica, attracting scientists, photographers, and nature enthusiasts who are fascinated by the unique behavior and remarkable survival skills. Among the many penguin species that inhabit the Antarctic region, the most famous is the imperial penguins, which is the largest penguin species in the world. Adult imperial penguins can reach heights of about 120 centimeters and weigh up to 40 kilograms, making them significantly larger than most other penguin species. What makes them especially remarkable is their incredible ability to survive the brutal Antarctic winter. Imperial penguins are the only animals that breed during the coolest season of the year. While temperatures plunge far below freezing and powerful winds sweep across the ice, these penguins gather in large colonies and huddle closely together to conserve warmth. By rotating position within the group, they share the burden of exposure to the freezing wind, allowing the entire colony to survive the extreme conditions. Another well-known species found in Antarctica is the Adelie penguin. These penguins are smaller than imperial penguins but are extremely energetic and highly adapted to life in icy environments. Adelie penguins are known for their distinctive black and white coloring and their strong swimming abilities. They spend much of their time hunting for food in the surrounding water, diving beneath the sea ice to catch fish, krill, and small marine creatures. During the breeding seasons, thousands of Adelie's penguins gather along rocky coastal areas, forming enormous colonies that can stretch across long sections of shoreline. Another species commonly seen in the Antarctic region is the chin-strap penguin. This penguin gets its name from the thin black band that runs under its head, resembling the top of a helmet. Chin-strap penguins is particularly known for forming massive breeding colonies, sometimes consisting of hundreds of thousands of birds. This colony creates an extraordinary sight of countless penguins gathered together on icy slopes and rocky islands near the Atlantic coast. This constant movement, cold, and activity of such colonies bring life and sound to an otherwise quiet and frozen landscape. Penguins in Antarctica depend heavily on the surrounding ocean for survival. The nutrient-rich water of the Southern Ocean support large populations of krill, fish, and squid, which form the primary diet of many penguin species. Penguins are excellent swimmers, capable of reaching impressive speed underwater while hunting for food. Their streamlined bodies, strong flippers, and thick layer of insulating feathers allow them to navigate the freezing water with remarkable efficiency. Despite the severe climate, penguins have evolved numerous adaptations that enable them to thrive in these environments. Their dense features trap air for insulation, while thick layers of fat help protect them from the cold. Their social behavior also plays a key role in survival, especially during the winter months when temperatures and winds become extremely harsh. The presence of large penguin colonies adds life and movement to the icy landscape of Antarctica. Against a backdrop of endless white ice and towering glaciers, thousands of penguins waddling across the frozen ground create one of the most iconic scenes on the natural world. These remarkable birds have become enduring symbols of Antarctica wildlife and demonstrate how life can adapt and flourish even in the most extreme environment on Earth. Although Antarctica is known for its extreme cold, powerful winds, and vast icy landscape, it is far from being a lifeless continent. In fact, the region supports a variety of unique wildlife that has evolved remarkable adaptation to survive in one of the hardest environments on Earth. Most of these animals are found not in the frozen interior of the continent, but in the surrounding coastal areas and the icy water of the Southern Ocean. The nutrient-rich water around Antarctica provides an abundant food supply, making the region one of the most productive marine ecosystems on the planet. As a result, many marine mammals and seabirds thrive here despite the extreme climate. One of the most fascinating animals living in the Antarctic region is the water seal. The seals are well adapted to life in icy water and are often seen resting on ice near the Antarctic coastline. Whale seals are known for their ability to deep dive beneath the ice in search of fish and other prey. They can remain underwater for extended periods and are capable of navigating through dark underwater tunnels beneath the sea ice. One remarkable behavior of whale seals is their habit of maintaining breathing holes in the ice by using their teeth to keep opening clear. These breathing holes allow them to return to the surface after a long dive, ensuring they can survive in an environment where open water is often limited. Another powerful predator of the Antarctic seas is the leopard seal. Named for the distinctive spotted pattern on its body, the leopard seal is one of the top predators in the Antarctic marine ecosystem. Unlike many other seals that primarily eat fish or krill, leopard seals have a much more varied diet. They are known for hunting penguins, fish, squid, and even other seals on occasions. With their strong jaws, sharp teeth, and impressive swimming speed, leopard seals are highly efficient hunters. Their presence in the water surrounding Antarctica plays an important role in maintaining the balance of the marine ecosystem. In addition to seals, the water around Antarctica are home to several species of whales. Large whales migrate to this cold water during the summer months because the region contains enormous quantities of krills, a tiny stream-like crustacean that form the foundation of the Antarctic food chain. Species such as the blue whale, the largest animal ever known to have lived on Earth, can often be found feeding in these waters. Other whales, including the humpback whales and the orca, also visit the Antarctic region, taking advantage of the rich feeding grounds created by the cold ocean current. The wildlife of Antarctica has evolved extraordinary physical adaptation to survive the freezing conditions. Many marine mammals have thick layers of insulating fat known as blubber, which have retained body heat in icy water. Their streamlined body allows them to swim efficiently while conserving energy. In addition, their circulatory system adapted to minimize heat loss, enabling them to survive in temperatures that would be deadly to most animals. Despite its harsh reputation, the Antarctic region supports a vibrant and dynamic ecosystem. The interaction between seals, whales, penguins, and countless smaller marine organisms create a complex food web that sustains life throughout the region. The presence of these animals adds movement and vitality to the frozen landscape and icy seas surrounding Antarctica. In this way, the wildlife of Antarctica demonstrates the incredible resilience of life on Earth, even in one of the coldest and most remote environments on the planet. Nature continues to adapt and flourish, reminding us of the extraordinary diversity and strength of the natural world. One of the most breathtaking natural phenomena associated with Antarctica is the formation of enormous icebergs that drift slowly through the surrounding ocean. These massive floating structures of ice are among the most impressive sights in the polar world, often appearing like frozen mountains rising from the sea. Icebergs are created through a natural process known as calving, which occurs when a large section of ice break away from the edge of Antarctic ice sheet. These ice sheets, which are extensions of the continent's massive ice sheets, float on the surface of the ocean and slowly move outward from the land toward the surrounding water of the Southern Ocean. As the ice gradually advances towards the sea, enormous stress builds up within the frozen structures. Over time, cracks develop and widen until eventually huge chunks of ice break free. When this happens, a new iceberg is born. The sound of this process can be dramatic, sometimes producing thunder-like echoes across the icy landscape as thousands of tons of ice separate from the continent and fall into the ocean. When detached, these floating giants begin a slow and unpredictable journey across the sea, carried by ocean currents, winds, and changing temperatures. The size of Antarctic icebergs can vary greatly. Some are relatively small, measuring only a few meters across, while others are truly gigantic. In fact, some icebergs that originate from Antarctica are so large they can be compared to an entire city in size. Some have been measured at hundreds of square kilometers, making them among the largest floating objects on Earth. Occasionally, scientists observe mega icebergs that are so enormous they can be tracked from space using satellites. This colossal block of ice may drift through the ocean for many years before gradually melting away. Although icebergs appear solid and immovable, only a small portion of their mass is actually visible above the water. Around 90% of an iceberg lies hidden beneath the ocean's surface, forming a massive underwater structure that can extend deep below the water. This hidden mass makes icebergs potentially dangerous for ships traveling in polar water, as their true size is often much larger than what can be seen from above the sea. As they drift through the waters of the Southern Ocean, Antarctic icebergs slowly melt due to slightly warmer ocean temperature and sunlight. During this gradual melting process, they release fresh water into the surrounding ocean. This freshwater input can influence ocean circulation and local ecosystems. In some cases, icebergs also carry small amounts of minerals and nutrients trapped within the ice, which can help support marine life when released into the ocean. Icebergs also play an important role in shaping the Arctic marine environment. As they move through the water, the massive underwater base can swap the seafloor, altering underwater landscape and creating a new habitat for marine organisms. In addition, icebergs provide temporary resting platforms for seals and seabirds traveling across the vast ocean. For scientists and explorers, the sight of these floating giants drifting through the icy seas is one of the most unforgettable images associated with Antarctica. Towering walls of blue-white ice rising above the dark ocean create a dramatic contrast against the frozen horizon. These magnificent icebergs serve as a powerful reminder of the immense force of nature that shaped the Antarctic continent. Ultimately, the giant icebergs of Antarctica represent a dynamic and ever-changing part of the polar environment. Their slow journey across the ocean reflects the constant movement of the Arctic ice sheets and highlight the delicate balance between ice, ocean, and climate that defines this extraordinary region of our planet. Antarctica plays a crucial role in maintaining the balance of the global climate system, although it may appear to be a distant and isolated constant. The process that occurs in this frozen region has significant effect on the entire planet. The vast Arctic ice sheets, which cover almost the entire continent, acts as one of the most important natural regulators on Earth's temperature. By reflecting large amounts of sunlight back into space, the ice helps prevent excessive heat from being absorbed by the planet. This reflective ability, known as the Iceberg effect, is essential for maintaining stable global temperature and preventing the Earth from warming too rapidly. This bright white surface of Antarctica reflects a significant portion of incoming solar radiation. If these massive ice sheets were replaced by darker land or open ocean, far more heat would be absorbed by the Earth's surface. This would accelerate global warming and lead to dramatic changes in climate patterns around the world. Because of this, Antarctica acts as a natural cooling system for the planet, helping regulate temperature differences between polar region and the equator. In addition to reflecting sunlight, the frozen continent also influences the circulation of the world ocean. The extremely cold temperature around Antarctica causes dense, cold seawater to sink deep into the ocean. This process has dried a global system of ocean currents that move water across the planet. This current play a vital role in distributing heat and nutrients throughout the ocean, affecting water pattern, marine ecosystem, and climate conditions in many different regions of the world. Another important reason scientists study Antarctica is because the continent preserves an extraordinary record of Earth's climate history. Over hundreds of thousands of years, layers of snow gradually accumulated and compressed into thick ice. Within this ancient ice are tiny bubbles of air that are trapped when the snow first fell. This air bubble contains samples of Earth's ancient atmosphere, allowing scientists to analyze the level of gas such as carbon dioxide and methanol that existed thousands of years ago. Researchers drilled deep into the Arctic ice sheets to extract long cylinders of ice known as ice cores. By studying these cores, scientists can reconstruct past climate conditions stretching back hundreds of thousands of years. This research provides valuable information about how Earth's climate has changed over time and helps scientists understand the natural cycle that influence global temperatures. The data collected from Antarctica ice cores have revealed important connections between greenhouse gas and changes in global climate, offering crucial insight into the challenges posed by modern climate change. Because of its importance to the global climate system, Antarctica is closely monitored by scientists from around the world. Satellite observation, field studies, and climate models are used to track changes in the continent ice sheet, sea ice coverage, and atmospheric conditions. These studies help researchers understand how Antarctica is responding to rising global temperatures and how these changes might affect sea level and weather patterns in the future. In many ways, Antarctica ice are a natural climate achieve that a critical regulator of the Earth's environmental stability. This continent's vast ice sheets, ocean interactions, and preserved records of ancient atmosphere make it one of the most valuable regions for scientific research on the planet. Understanding Antarctica is essential for understanding the past, present, and future of Earth's climate system. Today, Antarctica is widely regarded as one of the most mysterious and untouched places on Earth. Located at the southernmost east of the planet, this frozen continent represents the raw power and beauty of nature in its purest form. Unlike other parts of the world that had been shaped by city, agriculture, and industry, Antarctica remains largely untouched by permanent human settlements. Its vast landscape of ice and snow stretches endlessly toward the horizon, creating a powerful sense of isolation and wonder. For many people, the continent symbolizes the large great wilderness on Earth, a place where nature still dominates the environment and where the force of winds, ice, and ocean continue to shape the land in dramatic ways. One of the most striking features of Antarctica is its seemingly endless of ice fields. Massive glaciers and frozen plains cover nearly the entire continent, forming a brilliant white landscape that can appear both beautiful and intimidating. In some regions, towering walls of ice rise high above the surrounding terrains, while deep crevices cut through the frozen surface like cracks in a giant sheet of glass. These icy formations are constantly shifting and evolving, slowly moving under the immense weight of the ice sheet. Over time, glaciers push toward the coastline, where they eventually break apart and release enormous icebergs into the surrounding water. Another iconic feature of Antarctica is the presence of gigantic icebergs drifting across the nearby seas. These floating mountains of ice, which often originate from the continent's massive ice shelf, travel slowly through the water of the Southern Ocean. Some icebergs are small and irregularly shaped, while others are enormous flat-topped structures that can stretch for many kilometers. When sunlight strikes the icy surface, they can display brilliant shades of white, blue, and turquoise, creating one of the most spectacular natural sights on Earth. The continent is also famous for the wildlife that inhabits its icy shores. Among the most recognizable animals are the large colonies of penguins that gather along the Arctic coastline. Species such as the imperial penguin and the Adelis penguin live and breed in these harsh conditions, forming vast colonies that bring life and movement to the otherwise silent landscape. Watching thousands of penguins walking across the ice or diving into the freezing ocean is one of the most unforgettable experiences for researchers and travelers who visit this region. Despite its remote location and service climate, Antarctica has become an important symbol of the importance of protecting the natural world. Because the continent is governed by international agreement that limits military activity and encourages scientific cooperation, it stands as a unique example of global collaboration in preserving a fragile environment. Scientists and conservationists around the world view Antarctica as a vital natural reserve that must be carefully protected for future generations. For explorers, researchers, and natural enthusiasts alike, Antarctica represents the ultimate frontier and of discovery. Its vast frozen landscape, drifting icebergs, and resilient wildlife illustrates the incredible power and beauty of the natural world. In a time when many parts of the planet have been heavily developed, Antarctica remains a rare place where the wilderness still reigns. As a result, the continent continues to inspire awe and respect, reminding humanity of the importance of protecting Earth's most extraordinary natural environment.